Thank you so much. This has been just a really awesome morning, and I think a round of applause is deserved for Jose and Karen and Mark for just some really fantastic presentations. That was just awesome. Hopefully I'll be able to continue to build on all this information that we've been gathering in, and this talk is about information. So I'm just going to dig into this topic, and you've seen this word that's been on a lot of slides, information architecture. Information architecture, it keeps coming up. You see it in the process of the workflow of how people are making websites and applications. You see it in discussions about ways content is properly presented. So I'm going to take a different angle or slant on things. I'm going to focus on how designers can help people make use of information. So I started as a graphic designer. That was my primary focus for many years. And spending a lot of time in that space, I got very good at understanding how to communicate an idea from my head to somebody else through the medium of print. And while I got very good at being good at communicating ideas, when I moved into the space of creating interactive things, making websites or making applications, I fumbled really hard because I didn't understand how people over time were using that information and how their needs would change. And spending more time trying to understand how to do that better, what I realized is that what I needed to learn didn't just come from talking with and spending time with people who are really good about doing interactive design. I needed to spend time in another branch of design that had delved into this problem very deeply, and that was industrial design. So the SF MoMA is right up the street, and they have a really fantastic career retrospective of the work of Dieter Rams. You may not be familiar with his work, but you've probably seen it throughout your life, and it has cascaded into and influenced companies like Apple to the point that Jonathan Ivey has said, you know, Dieter Rams is one of the most incredible influences on my lives. So when you think about how this has sort of cascaded into our lives and our sort of, you know, adoration of companies like Apple and their hardware and their software, is that they've been really influenced by the touch of the functionalist work of this masterful industrial designer. So there's a lot of things to admire in his work. When I went over there and took pictures of a lot of the things that I saw in this exhibit, you can see from just like a purely information design standpoint, there's a really good labeling that's going on. The information is structured in a way that you can easily understand what things are. You understand, as you could use them, what they might be able to do. The use of color clearly communicates what certain things might need to do. As a whole, it fits together very well. But there's another level beyond craft to what made Dieter Rams such a really fantastic industrial designer. And that is an understanding of the context of how somebody is going to use something, an understanding that a camera, it looks beautiful when you see it in a museum and it's sitting there on a pedestal, but the point